Good morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is our Tuesday, and guess who's back? It's your girl, Lex, the life coach, or life coach Lex, Um, I've been gone for a week or so. I believe in taking breaks. you know, y'all be working yourselves to death, and I cannot. I cannot. And so this morning I am burning my incense. These are my holy berry, cleansing my space. Getting ready for my Talk to Me Tuesday. Cause they got nothing on me, baby. Hey, they ain't got nothing on me. You feel me? Alright, y'all. So it is Tuesday. Alright. It is Talk to Me Tuesday. Talk to Me Tuesday. Today, I'm going to roll some things all together. I'm going to do Talk to Me Tuesday, but I'm also going to be talking about toxic relationships and toxicity again. I know today is my hair wash day, so I'm taking my hair out and we'll be getting this my wig split in a little bit. But Talk to Me Tuesday. Um as you guys know, I'm also a teacher, and so last year, as I was teaching, I talked to my kids about social emotional learning (SEL). And if you're a teacher or a parent or know some kids or involved with children, and you're not talking about their social emotional learning and learning about themselves and how they feel and things that they're going through, then you are definitely doing them a disservice. Honestly, I talk to my daughter almost every day about something, about what's making her behave the way that she's behaving, and whether or not, as an adult, we like to diminish that our children are going through things. And believe it or not, these kids are stressed. We are living in a very stressful time, and especially because the world is very chaotic right now. Their emotions are just haywire. And then just as a child, your emotions are haywire, period. You're very emotional. You don't know how to deal with certain things that are going on in your life. And, as parents, we diminish that they're going through things because what do you have anything? Everything is taken care of. What do you have to worry about? And we forget how stressful being a child is because there's things that you want to do that you cannot do. There's always somebody telling you no, or you need to do this or this or that, and or you know, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too dark, you're too light skinned, your hair's nappy, it's not long enough, it's too short. There's a lot of different things that stress us out as children, and it's just not being acknowledged. And then it grows up into, and then you grow up into these broken adults who have these issues, who have mommy issues. Mommy never, as a man, my mom, my mom never let me cry. Right? She told me to man up because men don't cry. Or for me, when I was growing up, I'm a girl, so girls clean up, and I was always the one cleaning up, or I was the one who would get in trouble when my brothers didn't do what they were supposed to do, even though we're supposed to be doing chores together. Get these chores done before I get home, and my mom would come home. My stuff would be done, and their stuff would be done, and I would get in trouble because, well, you're the girl. You got to make sure that shit is clean. I always thought that was like ass backwards. If we are sharing responsibilities, how come they don't have to do their responsibilities, right? Um, I wasn't allowed to call in to work, right? As a teenager, I started working at 14, and my mom was like, well, they put you on a schedule. You got to go. And you got to go to work. It is what it is. And I'm like, well, I'm a kid. I ain't got no bills. That was not an option. You take your ass to work. And I remember specifically my parents arguing because my dad was like, hey, she's a kid. She can call off if she wants. She has no responsibilities. And they would argue about me going to work. And so it created a really big complex with me. I grew up not as being able to ask my dad for money. And I became very uncomfortable with asking people for help because I was never allowed to ask people for help. I was ostracized about being emotional. being too emotional, and so I learned to like hide my emotions. I'm not gonna deal with that because I just didn't feel like it, right? And so there are a lot of things that I suppressed as a child, and they just started coming out as an adult. I became like, I did multiple videos about how depression kind of ruled my life for a while, just because not being able to, this is my song, not learning how to navigate my emotions properly, right? And so it created a lot of depression and a lot of drinking. Like I started drinking at 12. I started drinking and smoking at 12. Tough. It was not. It was real for you, girl. But over the summer, this summer, as I began not even so much began my spirituality, as I started accepting it and working with my spirituality and learning my gifts and stuff like that, this summer has been really hectic for me. I literally was crying every day this summer. And but I realized that a lot of the things that I was crying about was not just things that I was dealing with. Whether you realize it or not, the things that you are going through is a cycle of what your ancestors have gone through. And so what you're going through, what your job is to break those curses, break that cycle. Like, we are here to make sure that our next generation doesn't go through the same thing that we went through, right? Sexual abuse, misconduct, shit, drug abuse, like all of these things that us in the black community, in the poor communities, the things that we sweep under the rug, these are things that you have to go through in order to break the cycle. Like, stop being silent about the things that went through in your childhood, because those are the reasons why you have uh sexual deviance. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that your sexual preferences stem from things that happened when you were a child, right? And you can't get over that stuff by keeping it in the dark. Like, you need to talk about it, talk to yourself, go to counseling, do the work, right? But just know everything is stemming from what you went through as a child, right? And what you went through as a child was things that your ancestors went through as a child or as adults, and things that you need to work through in order to not allow for your children to go through those things. Like, there are things that I look at my daughter and I'm like, oh no, we're not doing that. I used to do that. And so, the self hate talk. Like, and so now when she's talking sideways about herself, oh no, we meditate. We don't, I don't allow that. You are a goddess. You are beautiful. It does not matter what your skin tone is. It does not matter what you look like. You are perfect, right? And so I am raising a healthy child, because I don't want a broken adult. I don't want her to be 20 something wanting to die because of things that happened when she was a child that she was not in control of, right? So talk to me. Talk to somebody, right? Don't allow for those toxic traits that your parents did to you for you to do to your child. Like, it's just, you can't. You're doing your lineage a disservice. Like, I'm 100% sure that the things that you're going through, the things that I've gone through, there are a million of my family members who've probably gone through the exact same situation, right? And this is our job. We have to work through them. You have to be willing to cry it out. You have to feel to heal. You got to talk about it. You have to allow to see what's toxic. What is this toxic trait? If I have to hide it, it's toxic. If I have to hide it because I know somebody's going to be like, right? Then you need to figure that out. Where does that come from? Where does it stem from? And I'm not talking about smoking marijuana, because we all know that smoking marijuana is like one of the safest drugs that you can do. But if you're smoking marijuana because you can't deal with reality, then that's the issue. I'm not talking about just doing any type of recreational drugs just because, oh, I'm having a good day. I'm talking about doing these drugs, smoking cigarettes. Eating is a drug, and people, eating is like one of the biggest drugs, right? Because food is a natural, like, feel good thing. People go, I know me, I love me some ice cream, and if I'm in a bad mood, I will eat a whole thing of ice cream in order to make myself feel good. And damn it, by the end of that pint, I don't feel good, but that damn ice cream felt great going in my stomach. All right, but we have to be willing to talk about the hard things, right? And we have to stop allowing for other people's judgments to rehabilitate us. Like, give a fuck about somebody else. Care about your mental health. Talk about the toxic things that are in your life. Talk about the toxic traits that your parents and your grandparents did in order so that you don't do that to your child, your children, right? We all pay for the sins of the parent. And if you believe in the Bible, you best believe that you're paying for the sins of your parents, the things that they have not worked through, those issues. You're going to go through them, right? If your mom was a hoe, it's 9 times out of 10, you're going to be a hoe, or you're going to use sex as a tool in order to get what you want, right? So it's a double-edged sword, but it's all toxic because we are sexual beings. We're meant to be sexual beings, but we're not meant to be whorish, right? But what is whorish? It depends on you, right? But again, talk about those things. Talk, be open, be transparent, even if it's just with yourself, right? Myself, I couldn't go to counseling because I don't like people who know my business, which is really weird because I'm vlogging about it. Amazing. Now that I'm more comfortable and open and I've worked through depression, I've did the work, right? And so that's just the thing. You just have to be willing to do the work and say, you know what? Why do I do this? Why am I this way? Right? And pinpoint when these things happen and work through it. Write it out. It's okay to have a journal. It is okay to go and like write some songs or do whatever, make some beats in order to feel. It's okay to paint it out. It's okay to write poems. It's okay to live in your truth. But what's not okay is for you to be toxic, not talk about it, and pass that damn toxic traits on to your children or to the people around you, because believe it or not, your friends will feed off of that toxic energy, your animals, your house. Like, I mean, you pull that toxicity everywhere that you go. And until you work through those issues, they're going to follow you. It is not the other people. If 10 people tell you that something's wrong, guess what? Something's wrong. It's probably your toxic ass that you need to work through some shit. And it's okay. It is okay because we all have flaws. Nobody's perfect. Not one motherfucker on this earth is perfect, right? So we all need to go and do some work. Talk to me. Talk to me Tuesday. Find somebody to talk to. Find something to talk about that like trauma. Trauma. Talk about your trauma. All right. Talk about your trauma, and congratulations if you talked about it and you're working on it, because guess what? It ain't easy. It is not easy talking about trauma or dealing with negativity or the problems that you have. It's not easy. It is not easy being transparent. It's not easy working through your issues. It's not. It is hard. It's easy to get drunk and to numb it up. It's easy to be toxic and negative and not like other people because you don't like yourself. That's easy shit. It's easy as hell. It was the easiest thing for me to go grab a bottle. But what was hard was for me looking in the mirror and saying, Lex, you got a problem. We got to figure it out. All right. And so figure it out. Be honest with yourself. Work it out. It's okay. All right. Do it for the culture. Do it for your ancestors. They are behind you, rooting you on. Cry those tears. Work that shit out. Break those generational curses. Look at your kids and look at yourself and make you better. Make you better for them. Make them better for you. Work it out. All right, so this is Talk to Me Tuesday. Lex, your life girl, life coach Lex, your girl. Guess who's back, y'all? All right, I hope y'all have a wonderful Tuesday, and I shall see y'all tomorrow. I'm available if you need me.